Okay. So today's video, you guys, I'm going to be teaching about self-healing, working with spirits, and all that good stuff, and doing a few readings today too. But before I do anything, let me share this out real quick. Okay. Where is it? Oh, here we are. So, how is everybody today? I'm just sharing this out real quick, you guys. Give me a moment. Okay. Hi. Hi, Melanie. I didn't expect to see you here so soon. And let's see. So, how's everybody today? I know you're already on YouTube. Let's see here. What group haven't I shared out to yet? So, where is everybody at? Okay. Well, considering this is the first time I'm doing live readings on my YouTube channel, it doesn't surprise me much. Do. Let's get some music on, shall we? Let's see here. Hey, Bobby. What you guys up to? So, what was it that I was going to talk about? Yeah, self-healing. Duh. So, before I get into the readings, yeah, I'm broken. Louisa. So I forgot what I was going to talk about, or what I was going to say. So everybody knows how in this new age ascension, everybody keeps saying no meat, no red meat, and everybody's supposed to be eating greens and vegetables and all this other crap, right? So I'm gonna just say it. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it as much. But when people tell you that you can't ascend or you can't reach a new height and all of this fun jazz because you eat meat, that's just bullshit. It really is bullshit. And the reason why I say this is because from a Native American point of view, you learn things that not many people get to learn. And this literally is, and I'm not trying to bash anybody who's vegan and anything like that. That's just fine. But I do kind of get to that point where if you try telling people that if they eat meat they're not going to ascend or all this other crap, what's the point? Because in reality, if you truly understand the purpose of what it is that we eat, you come to the understanding of what we need. And if I'm looking up, I'm not used to the camera because I'm using my laptop for this, and I'm not used to the camera being like right here. I'm used to it being somewhere up here. But it's kind of like how to explain this without going into traditional teachings. So in Native American cultures and Native American teachings, the reason why we eat meat, everybody knows that we're humans are omnivores, meaning that we can eat plants and we can eat meat because of our canines and all that good stuff. But at the same time, there has to be equal balance. And with that balance, we have to kind of create that discreteness of how much meat we eat and how much greens we eat. Um, Nobody tells anybody this, but when you have a higher vibration, you have to stay grounded, you know, or else your energy is going to kick your ass and you're not going to be able to do shit. And it's just going to really hurt you in the end. So, red meat, meat in general, red, the root chakra, grounding. The reason why we eat meat, people say it's for proteins, but technically it's just some people are like high vibration, high energy level. And in order for them to keep that grounded and contained, meat is necessary. And when those who lack that production, if you will, of natural energy, they tend to eat more and more green meat or green meat, plants and all that. And the reason for that, believe it or not, is because green deals with heart chakra, but it's also a higher vibration than anything else. Same thing with all the other fruits and vegetables. They're all a little bit higher in vibration than meat is. And because of that, that also helps to nourish and grow the energy within us. Whereas meat, because we are meat, it kind of melds with us, but it also contains us, grounds us, and kind of keeps us from going left or right or bouncing all over the place. So you can basically call the necessity of meat the chill pill, if you want to call it that. But you can literally call fruits and vegetables, kind of like and what am I thinking of? I want to say it's like a cube of sugar for what it can do, but it's more like it's not a sedative. It's a kind of like vitamins, if you will, to help boost everybody's energy. But yet, in today's society, I've seen it so many damn times, especially with this one person. I'm not gonna name who he is, but you guys probably know who he is just by me speaking of it. But it's not necessarily true. That there really is a need of balance between what we eat and what we don't eat. But at the same time, there's that moderation, being able to control what we eat or how we eat or what we eat, and creating that balance, aka the balanced nutrition. But the reason why I'm saying this is because this plays a key role into self healing. What is it that you lack? What is it that you're not doing for yourself? What is it that you're not doing to keep your body healthy, strong, and up to date? What is it that you're lacking? Are you running low on energy, or do you have too much energy? Are you eating too much greens and vegetables and all that and less meat? Are you eating too much meat? Are you not eating enough vegetables along with that meat? And so forth and so forth. This actually does play a key role in self-healing. When you learn to self-heal, you have to first learn yourself. Um, a lot of pagans, a lot of witches tend to call the body the temple. Right? So in order to take care of that temple, you have to know that temple, right? And when you don't know that temple, you can forget a few things. And it's quite interesting because all this has a strange key factor in everything that happens, that everything that goes along, everything that works hand in hand. And the of course you fall out. But everything that we do contains that portion of the whole. Where did I put it? I'll just use this for an example. So here we have the medicine wheel. 4 quarters, 4 pieces. So take for example, if you're going to go through the food groups, you have the red that is the meat. You have the red that is the meat. You have the black that is the I'm trying to think, but it's kind of like here on these two, you have the fruits and vegetables. You have the meat, and then you have like every other junk. But there, it's a balance. All 4 make a whole. If you take out the fruits and vegetables, you're only left with that. With that part, that half. The other half you don't have. Meaning these, if they truly melded, if you will, and you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to hold yourself back. I so need to get a whiteboard so I can write this down. But it's literally a balance. Life is a balance. Dark, light, sun, and rain. But if you don't know yourself, how do you work with yourself? Do you listen to yourself? Do you meditate with yourself? Do you understand yourself? Do you truly listen to yourself? Do you understand yourself? Do you work with yourself? Do you take time to baby yourself? Do you take the time to kind of play around with yourself? Do you take that time, that energy, just to put it into yourself? there's a lot of things with self-healing, but the things I know for self-healing goes more into the traditional aspects, and I literally don't want to delve too much into the traditions, but if I have to, I will. Self-healing, working with the self, there's like multiple ways you can do it. So here you have oracle cards that you can also use, for example, tarot. So I'm gonna take out the major arcana real quick to show you guys how you can use this for self-healing. So take the major arcana. What is it that you need to know? What is it that you need to know about yourself at this current time? So take the few moments to kind of shuffle a tarot deck or an oracle deck. I'll do both ways. What is it that I need to know about myself? And ask yourself from like a third person point of view, as if you're pulling a card for somebody else. So let's use my name for example. What does Alexander need to know at this current time? What does Alexander need to know at this current time? And then fan this out real quick. I'd rather not choose a number. And just pull a random card. So here, of course, I kind of already knew I was going to get this. But here you have the Green Man, number 0, the one that is the omnificent, primal nature, if you will. So if you're going to do self-healing, what is it that you need to know about said card or about yourself? So the Fool, aka the Green Man, aka the Jester, aka the Dumbass, aka every other name that you could think of for the Fool, take time to meditate on the card. What is it that you need to know about yourself? What do you need to know in order for you to grow beyond your limits? So by looking at this card for new opportunities, new beginnings, if you take a deeper look, you learn to understand the necessity to eat more greens, the necessity of going back into nature, working with nature, working through nature. So kind of working hand in hand with not just the elements, but with the fruits and vegetables, which I know I've been lacking in. And there's a lot more to it than that, but it also shows the need to be able to keep that balance, or else it will destroy me. But that's pretty much the basics of the use of tarot cards, or rather the major arcana. So whereas the major arcana shows the major life events, life changes, what have you, they can also show you glimpses of what you need to understand about who you are and what it is that you need to focus a little bit more towards. Whereas, let's say, for example, the minor arcana, when used appropriately, they tell a story. They literally do tell a story. It just depends on how you wish to view it. So take a few moments to shuffle this, because I had them in like four different piles. But each minor arcana holds a different part of who we are. Whether or not we're going through emotions, through depression, through mild stress, and all this other stuff. tarot can show us those aspects that we neglect, things a part of ourselves that we don't want to look towards. It really depends on the type of tarot deck that you use for self healing. Some people like to use fluffy. In my term of use of fluffy, it's kind of like the cheesy, childish decks that doesn't necessarily give out negative connotations or negative viewpoints, and it doesn't slap you in the face when things are going to go wrong. But this deck doesn't hold back on some occasions. So what do I need to know? What do I need to truly understand about myself? You draw 4 cards, one to the north, the south, the east, and to the west. So here I have 2 waters and 2 airs. The first water is the 7 of cups, which is normally accumulated to that of delusions, illusions, things that aren't as they seem. Then you have the 4 of cups on the second one, which is to the south, which is discontent, regrets, things that aren't as you wanted it to. Then the Queen of the East is the Queen of Swords, which is the use and through imagination, which the imagination becomes clouded. So things that are not as they seem can cause you to go into a direction that you don't want to go in, which can be seen in the 2 of Swords, the opposition, things not working together, which go hand in hand with this point of view on things that happen. So in order to change this, you have to ask yourself, what can I do to change what is written in the cards? What do I need to focus on to help better myself? Another good way to do self-healing is taking a rose quartz and meditating with it, taking the time and energy to meditate and connect to the earth. Some people do self-meditation underneath a tree, connecting to a tree, allowing yourself to kind of work hand in hand with the dryads, the tree of the spirit, or the spirit of the tree, my bad. And going that route by the use of the trees to help ground. Others tend to take a bath to help soothe and calm. And then you also have that primal meditation, which is sitting in the dark, allowing your mind to just wander into silence, which isn't that bad if you really think about it. But sometimes people can't go into the silence. People really can't keep their mind quiet. And then there's also energy healing, the use of Qigong, Tai Chi, and a few other ways, like Reiki, for example, is a good way for self-healing. Kundalini is another good way of healing. I don't necessarily always suggest binaural beats, but those can help as well. But one of the main ways that I use self-healing is through the use of crystals, which kind of allows me to connect to the stones. So take, for example, this little crystal here. This is a Synergy 7, which is a mixture of 7 different stones. Here you have amethyst, lopidite, and I think I kind of forgot what all is here, but this is a great healing stone. So when you're self-healing, take this or any stone or crystal and hold it over your heart. and just, or if you don't want to put it over your heart and meditate with that like that, you can hold it in your hand and just connect to the stone. Ask for permission for self healing. Allow that stone to heal what is needed. You can also use selenite. You can use the crystal wands to help wash away any negativity or what have you. Same thing with clear quartz, which is actually known as the master healer crystal. And there's like there's literally like countless ways of working with self-healing. But if you're going to work with spirits, here I have the Ask Your Guides cards by Sonia Kyoket, which is good for working with guides or your spirit guides and like certain spirits in general. But this also helps work with psychic gifts, psychic awareness. But I kind of like this deck because I don't normally have to always work with my spirit guides hand in hand or directly. I can use these cards when I'm in a need for a quick like card pull on things that I need to focus on. So I don't have to listen and keep my ears open or silent enough to hear the spirits. I can use these cards to communicate. So what does my guides need me to know? For example, shuffle a few times, give it a riffle. And then pull. So here you have the nature spirits, which is all about despair. There's no need to despair. There's no need to fear. There's no need to focus on the darkness that is around you because the door is open to a better possibility, to a brighter future. There's no need for you to linger in the shadow or in the dark alone when you can enter the realm of the light with your friends and family and find that peace and harmony and joy and what have you. So that's literally what I think of when I work with these. I let the intuition pick up on what I need to know. Take, for example, the joy guides, risk. So if you think about risks, you think about like going out, jumping off a cliff with a hang glider or parachute or squirrel suit, if you wish. But it's all about taking risks, having fun, joy, being joyful in what you do, and just doing what you love, taking the risks. And even though you know they might have a consequence, it's just going out, have fun, and not worrying about the consequences of what it is that you're doing, and just having fun, being true to yourself, and just taking the necessary risks to go out and have fun, do things that you love to do rather than just sit down and not do what you want. And you can use like any number of tarot, oracle. You can use your pendulum to work with certain spirits, candles. You don't I don't like bringing up the Ouija board as often, but that's actually another good way of learning how to communicate with spirit or working with certain spirits. It just really depends. It's a very, very touchy subject, and it's not one that I want to get into with people. But I do work with the Ouija board from time to time. It's just I don't use it for like every necessity, every need. But in order for you to work with spirit, you have to also be open to the guidance. But you have to also take the spirit's guidance with a grain of salt. Because sometimes, and not all the time, does certain spirits act out, and sometimes sometimes some spirits like to be little tricksters or little devils, if you will. And I don't want to say it, but some spirits are good for self-healing, believe it or not. They actually can heal from time to time. Most of them, well, technically they all can, but you have to be leery of when you work with certain spirits. You have to use that spiritual discernment of who you wish to work with, because some of them don't do it in your best interest. So it's always best to work with yourself first. And let's see here. What's today? The coming new year. What does the new year have for us? What does the new year hold? I'll pull a card for the new year for everybody before I end the live here. I feel like doing not a YouTube live, Facebook live reading later today. I'll post a link specifically to my page in the description later today. So let's see. New Year's 2019, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12, 12, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So here you have 7 of Wands and number 14, the Underworld. So here you have 7 and 14. 7 times 2 is 14. Four plus 1 is 5. Conflict number. But 7 of Wands is all about rivalry. This is kind of like, how should I put it? The underworld is the devil. But in order to learn about yourself, you have to go into the underworld. You have to go into the shadows. You have to go into the darkness to figure out who you are. So for this coming New Year's, rivalry is of the past. There's no need for it. But you can also learn from it. But in order to learn from it, you have to go into the shadow of the situation. Meaning, this coming New Year, you have to learn to forgive. You have to learn that you can learn from the past. You can learn from your mistakes. But you have to also let go of that needle from your chest, if you will, because that's no longer needed for this coming New Year. Because the more you hold on to such rivalry, competition that collides head on, it doesn't always end well. So the year is all about new beginnings and fresh starts, if you will. Start off with a clean slate so that you all can do what you love and not be effective or affected by negative influences, if that makes sense. But with that said, you guys, I'm going to end the live here. So love and light and many blessings.